Dreams of playing at a major EDM festival, raising prices because you feel you're not getting paid enough, looking for active speakers, can't choose between controllers, all that and a lot more in today's episode of Share the Knowledge. Let's go.
For the last 22 years, I've been rocking stages, playing in clubs, and having a lot of fun as a DJ and turntablist, and I've seen and learned a lot. Now it's time for me to share that knowledge by answering the questions that can help you become a better DJ. I'm djTLM, and this is Share the Knowledge.
Hey guys, welcome to Share the Knowledge, episode 2. I'm djTLM, you're watching djTLMtv. This is the show where I answer the questions that you guys can send me through Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, or email. Make sure you add the hashtag Share the Knowledge so it's easier for me to find them. And today I'm going to get straight into the questions because I have quite a lot of questions I want to cover. The first question is from Atul from Dubai, and he wanted to know how to deal with the certain phase that he's going through right now. So he's been DJing for 4 years at private events. For the first 3 years, he was charging 200 dirham. That's about $54 per hour. And from this year onwards, he started to charge 1,000 dirham. That's $272 per hour. People started not to be interested in hiring him because of his charges. And this is a phase that he's going through right now. And he wants to know how he can deal with this phase. Now, there's a second question, but I'm going to focus on the first one. Here's the thing. We all have to deal with this. At a certain point, if you're playing gigs for a low fee, at a certain point, you will have to start to raise your fee. Because I started out, I was DJing for low to no money. I even volunteered to play at a bar/club for a year for free just to gain experience. Best decision of my life. I learned so much. But at a certain point, you start doing gigs, you do them for a low fee, then time goes on, you gain more experience, you realize that you're starting to get better, and people are starting to come to see you play. You have to raise your fee. Because I was spending my entire fee on buying new records, and if your fee's low, you don't even have enough money to buy enough new records. So I had to increase my fee. Problem is, you're scared because you don't want to go too high because you're afraid that people might not book you at all. But you have to have enough self-worth to realize, hey, I'm worth this amount of money. If people are not prepared to pay that, then I will not play there. Each and every one of you has to decide where that line is, so for how much you're willing to play. So I can't really give you a number. I would never do that. But what I did realize when I saw your email, Atul, you went from 200 dirham, local currency, to 1,000. To me, that sounds like a pretty large amount to go up. Because when I was going up in price, and that was back in the days when it was still guilders, we did not even have the euro yet. I know that I went up 25, 50 euros when I started to ask for more. And if I saw your amounts, you went from $50 to $270. So if people were booking you and you're going back to them like, hey, look, I have a new fee that I charge right now, and it's like 4-5 times the amount that they were paying before, you can imagine that they're shocked and they might not be willing to pay that. So their reaction is pretty logical. Now, I can't judge if the $270 per hour, if that's a lot or if it's not a lot compared to other DJs that are playing there that have similar popularity to you and similar skills. So that's something you need to try to figure out, but it does sound like a lot to go up. So it would have been wise probably to do it a little more gradual and maybe go from 200 dirham per hour to 400 per hour. That's still double, but it's not 5 times the amount. The next question is from Parker, and Parker wants to know something about equipment. I'm looking to get into DJing for as little money as possible. I decided that a controller works best for me. Yes, probably it will. And I narrowed it down to the Pioneer DDJ-SB 2 and the Numark Mixtrack Pro 3. Which controller do you recommend and why? I recommend any of the two because both of those are really good entry-level controllers. So if you want to start the DJ and you want to pay the least amount of money, an entry-level controller is definitely your best option because it does not cost a lot and you just plug it into the computer and you're good to go. Both of these work great. Both of these have similar options, similar features. They control the same software, so both. Now, this next question is in here not because of the question, but because of the name. So I had to cover this real quick. Now, this comes from Henry, and I can call him by his DJ name, DJ Scratch. And he's been watching a lot of my videos, and he has a big question. The question is how to beat match a song while scratching. You probably mean while scratching. The reason why I picked this email, Henry, because this is very important. When you choose a DJ name, do some research. It is so important because certain DJ names might not be the best for you. DJ Scratch, which you probably don't know, but Google DJ Scratch and you'll see it straight away, is one of the most famous hip-hop DJs around. He was the DJ for EPMD, one of the most famous hip-hop duos back in the days. You can Google EPMD as well. And he's also a producer, and he's been DJing for probably, 25, 30 years. He's a great DJ and turntablist. He tours all over the world. He won, what's the competition again? Master of the Mix. Smirnoff did a special DJ competition on TV. He won that a couple of years ago. He is a very well-known DJ. So to name yourself DJ Scratch is not gonna work. That's not gonna work. So you need to start looking for a different DJ name. And DJ Scratch can really scratch and do turntablism as well. Are you a good turntablist? Otherwise, it's probably not a good name to choose even if DJ Scratch did not exist. But in this case, I would not continue to use DJ Scratch because that could definitely cause some confusion if you start to play in clubs and the name DJ Scratch is on the flyer. That is going to be misleading for a lot of people. The other question, how to beat match a song while scratching, if that is really the question, you cannot beat match while scratching. If you're scratching, you have one song playing and you're using the other deck on the controller, turntable, CDJ to scratch. So at that moment, you are not beat matching. I hope that answers your question. If that is not what you meant, you have to be more specific and just send me another email. The next question is from Oscar, and he wanted to know, what active speakers do you highly recommend? Every now and then I get questions about speakers, and I don't have a lot of good information when it comes to speakers because I really do not have a lot of knowledge and experience with speakers. Now, I will say that in the near future, I'm doing a special on speakers, and I will be visiting Tone Control. That's my partner for reviews. They have a big setup with a lot of speakers. I'm going to film it right there so I can compare a lot of different speakers. That's going to be some monitor reference speakers for in the studio, but also active speakers for DJs. So if it's for home use, I will be covering that in that speaker special. So stay tuned for that. If you're talking about active speakers for outside or to take to gigs, that's a different story as well. So to all my mobile DJs out there, if you're watching, if you have any good advice when it comes to active speakers, make sure you share that knowledge and join the conversation in the comment section down below. And let's make that the question of the day. DJs out there, what kind of speakers are you using? If you're using active speakers, let us know in the comment section down below so we can see what everyone's using and if there's a general consensus on which ones would be best. Now, of course, there's more you need to take into consideration when it comes to like price, performance, but this could be helpful for Oscar and other DJs out there. I have another question on Twitter. This is from DJ Mad Crunk. djTLM, if you're a beginning DJ, how do you know when you're ready to start playing at gigs? Now, this is actually a good question, and I've talked about this in a recent video. I don't know which one. I'm going to link it above in the card, and that is you will have that certain point when you're going to make the transition from the bedroom to the club. And it doesn't have to be a bedroom. I've seen some nice videos with people having their setups in kitchens, but if you're just playing at home in your room, and you really want to pursue this DJ career, at a certain point, you need to start playing in front of people. That is the next step, and that is a lot of experience that is really important to become a better DJ. Not just to learn the skills at home, but to play in front of people, because that is a totally different experience. That's how you learn how to read the crowd, how you learn how to deal with requests. It's a different situation altogether. How do you know when you're ready? If you feel that your skills are up to par, so that you can mix tracks without thinking about it too much. You know your music, you know your equipment. That's the perfect time to say, hey, let's try to start to play in front of some people. At first, make sure you just go for small gigs, maybe even a party at your own house where you invite your friends and you start to play in front of them. Maybe that can lead to another party where you play at a birthday, stuff like that. But start small, but make sure that you start to gain that experience playing in front of people. And after that comes the bars, the clubs, and stuff like that. But if you feel that you master the techniques, that you're ready to move on to that next step, that is a feeling that you should have. You should be self-conscious enough to know, hey, I control this well enough. Then you can start to practice in front of people. The next question is from Brocosis on Instagram. And the question is, so I'm really confused on what audio interface I should get for when I'm producing. I don't have a lot of money to spend, and videos and articles that say this one's the best I can never trust. Please help me find perfect quality sound. Now, there's a little contradiction in wanting perfect quality sound and working on a low budget. And I'm definitely not saying that you can't get a good audio interface for a low budget, because there's plenty of entry-level audio interfaces out there that get the job done. So you can definitely find something nice on a small budget. Now, here's the thing. You say that there's articles that say this one's the best, that one's the best, and that you can never trust those. You would have to elaborate on that and let us know why you can't trust those. But here's the thing. There is something as general consensus, something that we call general consensus, and I use this myself. If I'm doing research, and this research could be for an audio interface, it could be for screen capturing software, it could be for fitness equipment. I look online, I go to the more respectable sites, online magazines, whatever you want to call it, and you have the most recognizable audio magazines out there. They all have websites, they all do reviews. And if I find that a certain piece of equipment or software comes up in all these different reviews and top 10 things, and I see those same names on all these different sites, it at least tells me that this is something that might be worth looking at. Now, of course, I would never just trust an article that says this one is the best because that article says it is the best. But if I go on my fitness channels that I like to check, and I hear 7 out of these 10 channels say that they really prefer this exercise over that exercise, and they all give me a similar reason, that tells me that there might definitely be some truth to that, and it's worth exploring. It's worth checking out. So I do not have a recommendation when it comes to a good audio interface on a budget, because you did not even mention your budget. But if you know your budget, there's plenty of articles out there that can probably help you find at least the right direction. So if you're looking for best audio interface under, and just add your number, like $200 or $300, that should give you some articles. Check out all those articles. You will find that certain names will pop up in all these different articles, and that tells you that that might be worth looking into. So never trust one, but the general consensus can help you find your way. I hope that helps you out. And once again, the question of the day, what type of speakers do you use? We're trying to help out Oscar. He's looking for the best active speakers, but it's always cool to know what each and every one of you is working with. So for DJs out there, what are you using at home? And for the mobile DJs out there, what are you taking to your gigs? What type of speakers are you working with? Because in my case, I don't even have real DJ speakers yet. I've never even had real DJ speakers. Right now, I'm still using my NS10. That's my reference monitor speakers. Those are the speakers that I also use when I record my mixes. And sometimes I just have some little extra speakers from an old stereo set that I place right next to the DJ set to have a little more sound right next to the actual set. But I still need to get some good active speakers sooner or later. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like the video, share the video. If you want to check out this content while you're driving in a car, I also have the podcast version on SoundCloud. So that's just the audio, because just the other day, someone told me they were watching episode 1 while driving in the car. Don't do that. Go to the podcast, check out the audio so you can check that out in the car whenever you're driving, wherever you're going, and keeping it all the way safe. So please do that and check that out as well. That's all for now, guys. I'll be back with episode 3 in a couple of days. Peace.